So I'm finally reviewing LEGO Racers. Let's go. I still remember watching a YouTuber named Vectrex for Life who reviewed LEGO Racers like years ago, and I really wanted to make a video on LEGO Racers since. I also remember getting one of my friends, the SideQuest Gamer, to review LEGO Racers for my 13th birthday, which was really kind of him. Thank you, Alec. I actually did make a review on LEGO Racers when I was a little younger. Except it was fucking awful. It was just a low quality video with the worst video recording software of me playing the game and babbling over it.
He's very unscripted, so he's doing a great job. Great job, Lance. Yeah, I'm doing a great job. Shut up, Lance. Anyway, and then go to Starter Racing, and you can check out your race. But all my—
I didn't even beat the fucking game! Even for my age at the time, this review is just lazy. I even made a review on Half-Life, which is a game I didn't beat, and I still haven't beat! Anyway, let's review LEGO Racers. It opens up with the typical FMV cutscenes showing the companies that worked on the game, and then we get to the actual game intro, and damn, this was cool as hell to watch as a kid. It's very late 90s, early 2000s, and gets you excited to play the game with its vibrant colors and fast action. It shows off the 8 racing champions you're going to race against in the game, which is pretty hype. At the end of this race, this nigga named Rocket Racer wins, and he's basically the final boss. And then you get to the menu, which blasts you with this upbeat music. And as you can see, there's a big fucking Lego man in front of me, and he's the current racing champion you have to beat. Before we get to the gameplay though, I have to talk about the most defining feature of LEGO Racers. It's a building mechanic. It being a LEGO game, it makes perfect sense for the player to be able to build their own car. There's even pre-built cars you can use if you don't feel like building, but literally what is the fun in that? Car creation is pretty fun. You have different LEGO themed bricks to help you. Additionally, you can unlock more via playing the game's campaign. The only sort of problem here is that it does not affect your car's performance at all. No matter how big or small your car is, it will drive the same. Oh, and it won't fix the goddamn trash drifting too. With that all being said, now let's get to the actual gameplay. Like many racing games, you have circuits with a series of races you have to go through. Each circuit has a champion with a bunch of co-racers as well. For the most part, you don't have to worry about the co-racers at all, because they're mainly fodder. Hell, if a co-racer places higher than the champion, the game will autocorrect them below the champion. So even the game is telling you they ain't shit.
Okay, I later found out that this only happens if the racing champion hasn't finished the race. So I'm half right, I guess?
Each track is filled with this cartoony charm that also fits the LEGO brand. Like Captain Redbeard level has this happy yo-ho pirate vibe that the kids will definitely mess with. Battle of the Batlord, which is one of the harder levels, is a little bit more edgier, I guess. Though I don't know what to actually call it, to be honest. Let's talk about the driving itself. It's fine for the most part, but the steering is pretty stiff. You have to spam the obnoxious drift button, which I did mention earlier, to make tight turns. To be honest, I don't really have nothing else to say about it. Now the power-up system, which is probably the second highlight of this game. There are these different colored bricks divided into 4 categories. Reds are projectiles, blues are shields, yellows are hazards, and greens are speed boosts. Additionally, you use white bricks that you stack up on the colored bricks to sorta upgrade said bricks. This gives the player a decent amount of options when it comes to dealing with other racers. The only issue though is the AI is so basic for the most part that it's super easy to exploit, especially the warp power up. This shit is very broken, particularly once you get a hang of the brick placements on each race. It looks like a Jimmy Neutron dink moment. It lets you breeze through levels super quickly, and it's not hard to obtain the warp at all. Green bricks show up a lot in the levels, almost way too much at times, making it very easy to beat the slow as fuck AI. Because of how broken the warp is, I'd recommend handicapping yourself and try using other power-ups. Like, for example, you can get 3 homing rockets, which sometimes lets you combo an opposing racer in the air, like some arc system type shit. You can also do this with a laser power-up, where you can keep zapping the opponent in the air on repeat. The shield power-ups are cool too. Combined with 2 or 3 white bricks, you can reflect oncoming projectiles, which is pretty fun. You can also use the same type of shields to stun other racers if they bump or make contact with you, which adds another layer to it. The yellow power-ups are stupid against the AI too. Sometimes you can just cause a traffic jam. And it's funny to just have the markers on the map be stopped by your UFO power-up. 3 whites and yellow bricks. I don't even need to say this part. I don't even know what I'm saying. Overall, the power-ups give the player a cool set of options to approach the race, even if the AI is pretty weak. And before some weird nigga says this, no, it's not an immersive sim. So like the racing champions usually use the same power up over and over again, except the Batman nigga and Alien nigga. The most obnoxious example of this is probably Rocket Racer, which I'll get to right now. Like I said earlier, this dude is the final boss of the game. I forgot to mention this, but before each circuit, you get a little cutscene. What? Hello? You get a little cutscene showing off the circuit champion's personality. And with Rocket Racer, you get this cold-ass cutscene of him introducing himself. Your character is celebrating, he dancing around, acting a fool, but this lady tells you, nah, and this big shot shows up. It almost feels like a movie, with him slowly walking up, and then even the subtitles showing his name as he freezes in place. It's just metal as hell. Man has a smug-ass smile and even does a villainous laugh at the end. Anyway, the race is basically who can spam the warp the most. Like this nigga just loves the warp. As a kid, it took me many tries to beat this guy because of how fast this nigga seemed. I don't even remember how many times it took me to beat him. As I got older though, it became much more easier. Mainly because of how easy it is to work around the AI. And like I said earlier, it's basically the war of the warp. It became so easy to the point where I once did a 0 green brick challenge and that definitely made things much harder. You're probably wondering, where are the other races? Because usually each circuit has like 4 races. Rocket Racer only has 1.
Is this nigga serious?
Yeah, this man is so confident with his warp spam, he ain't even need the extra races. After you beat Rocket Racer, there isn't really much else to do in this game. You can do the time trials, which unlocks this woman's car, who I'm assuming it's Rocket's girlfriend. There's also versus mode, which is oddly locked unless you have a controller plugged in. It makes sense a little bit because no one wants to argue whoever gets the arrow keys or WASD keys, but I don't know why it's locked though. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention that the last 3 circuits before Rocket Racer, I am not joking, are just the first 3 fucking circuits, but in reverse. I couldn't tell if they were out of development time or they were just simply lazy. Either way, this is definitely an L. At least the circuit champions are different, I guess. I think this wraps up my review of LEGO Racers. Overall, and I'm gonna be real honest here, it is just not a very good game. And it really just comes down to the fact that the game just has really stiff controls. And on top of that, it's just not very challenging at all. And this is just not because of the warp, it's because the AI is just way too easy to work around, especially compared to other kart racers at the time. I'm not no game designer, but I feel like the AI should do more actions in the race because outside of the boss racers, the side racers don't really do anything most of the time. Except that Black Knight nigga in the Rocket Racer race. I don't know, he's on some crack. And even though it was probably because of a time constraint, the fact that you have to repeat the same 3 circuits all over again, but in reverse, is really lame. Also, the fact that the game just kind of lacks any sort of replayability outside of building cars. And even with that aspect, the novelty of building cars wears off eventually. Especially because it's cosmetic and doesn't affect the gameplay at all. With all that in mind, it just feels like the game's a bit unfinished. If they spent more time on it, then the game would have actually been good, but like, as it stands, in my opinion, it's just kind of okay. Notice how I didn't say it was bad. I have a lot of nostalgia for this game, like the graphics, music, and even like building cars, even though I said the novelty grows off. I like putting characters from other medias in the game, so it's just still fun to some extent. Oh yeah, and the brick stacking power-up system is really ingenious. It really is just the warp power-up that fumbles it. And I think that's really all I have to say about this game. I did enjoy going back to it and finally reviewing it. Before I end this video, I'm going to say this. Originally I was going to review the second game, LEGO Racers 2, but I ended up deciding not to do that. Mainly because I just wanted to review LEGO Racers 1 for so long and taking more time to review the second game in the same video would take too long, so I wanted to show you guys this part and then have a part 2 later. And finally, this video has been in the work for too long. Like, I started back in 2022, and now in 2024, I'm finally finishing it. It's just crazy. Gone through a lot of stuff in life, like almost losing a friend in 2023 to like having a horrible fucking incident, which was a house fire a few weeks back, and just trying to like figure out who I even am, like, and it's been really hard. But I think I can do this shit. So, and I found more motivation recently to just move on from a lot of these bad things. So thank you for watching this last part of the video. And if you want to know more about me, I guess there's a vlog channel that I want to upload more on. I'll put in the link in the description. And that's about it. Thank you for watching once again, and I'll see you guys in part 2 of this review. So yeah.